Hey man, what it is? This is Deem, and I am your host, and this is By Any Means. There go the Cash App, $ Deem by any means. There go the PayPal at Deem by any means. Y'all see that heart with that $ in there? That's the super chat. Show your boys some love. You can press that at any time your heart desires. Say it with me, y'all. I don't care if you leave $1, $10, $1,000. It is much, much, much appreciated, y'all. Eddie Hearn is a terrible promoter. I've been saying this. I tried to warn Devin. Shout out to my guy Jaronennis. Love him to death. One of my favorite fighters. Tried to warn him. Shakur Stevenson, another one of my favorite fighters. Tried to warn him. But they hard-headed. They very, very hard-headed. And Jaron Ennis not as much because Jaron Ennis tried to go to the PBC and make the fights happen with Mario Barrios and Amonte Stanionis. Clearly that got turned down. So if he wasn't going to fight them this year, what's the point of signing with PBC? If I can't even get the fights with PBC that I want to get, I might as well go take another route, at least for this year, because Jaron Ennis has one fight left. So when he fights next year, that's it. And then, like I was looking, he wouldn't even be able to get any of them unification fights until after his third fight anyway, because Brian Norman, Amonte Stanionis got a fight coming up. Mario Barrios just for it, but we'll see what goes on with that. But at the end of the day, man, you got Bill Haney out here co-signing Eddie Hearn because of what Eddie Hearn was sitting up there on a rant talking about Jaleel Hackett. Jaleel Hackett, get away from this man. People, you don't want your promoter speaking of you this way, my G. I appreciate that you came out. You didn't make no excuses and all of that, sir. But the way Eddie was talking, that's not how you want your promoter talking about you after a fight in Puerto Rico against a Puerto Rican, and it's under his card, and then you get robbed, and then he speak like that afterwards, talking about we not going to keep throwing thousands and thousands of dollars at you if we not even sure if you're going to be in championship contention. And then Bill Haney used that because Jaleel Hackett and Devin has been going at it to try to trash Jaleel Hackett. My question is, Bill, have some dignity. You really don't have no dignity because this was the same man as the reason your son can't get fights right now. He the same man that was hurting your son's marketability from the Ryan fight and everything since. Wouldn't even let the man get in there for a Riyadh season ticket. Was telling the whole world Devin is not valuable. Who's going to pay for Devin and Sandor Martin? Y'all forget this? And this the man you want to co-sign to sit up there and trash Jaleel Hackett, another black American fighter, but then talk about we need to get all of these brothers together and make stars out of these black men. Us black men need to come together. Bill, you's a fake, dog. Bill, do you not see how that is a contradiction from what you just said a couple days ago? And clearly, your son don't agree with that because Devin Haney came out here and called all of the promoters BA promoters and that they trash. He wasn't talking about the PBC because Devin hasn't done business with them. Only time Devin did business with them is in the beginning of his career. So he clearly wasn't talking about them, but he was talking about Eddie, Oscar, and Bob Arum. And then you got Shakur Stevenson coming out here talking about Eddie Hearn is one of the best promoters in the game. Shakur, I understand wordplay. Obviously, he's one of the best because there ain't too many promoters at that level. It's only about 5 of them. You got PBC, you got Oscar in them, you got Bob Arum, you got Eddie in them, you got Conda Turkey. He's not really a promoter. Then you got Frank Warren and Queensberry in them. And it may be 1 or 2. You got Floyd and obsolete people that don't really matter for real. So is he one of the best by default, I guess? By default, maybe. He's not close to being better than Bob Arum in PBC, though. Not close. And the sad part is, y'all, if we really keeping it a stack, Oscar fighters have been doing way better against Eddie fighters. Oscar got way more notable pay-per-view big fights attached to his promotional company than Eddie even got to his, y'all. That's why Oscar always clowning him. And Oscar is a terrible promoter. Oscar is a terrible promoter. Shakur Stevenson, what has he done besides get you Joe Cordina and Kid Austin, and you're not even a main event for it? You're fighting in Saudi Arabia. What has he done? You should be thanking Turkey Ali Sheikh. You shouldn't be giving Eddie no credit for that. You could have got that fight without Eddie. Shakur Stevenson, you could have got that fight without Eddie. You didn't need Eddie to get a fight with Kid Austin or William Zepeda. You could have went to Golden Boy. Or you could have strictly just been messing with Turkey Ali Sheikh and waited for him to come around. Because he say that, y'all, the funniest thing is Turkey Ali Sheikh, William Zepeda, and Shakur Stevenson might be on Rehad season again. That's the part everybody's leaving out. He didn't get you a headline card with just you like he did Jaronennis. At least Jaronennis. And this is how I know that Eddie values Jaronennis more than Shakur Stevenson. Because he done got 2 main events in his hometown. That wasn't cross-promotional or nothing. It was strictly a matchroom card with the zone. In his hometown. So whether it's with the best opponent in the world or not, actually, I think Hearn is a lot better than people want to give him credit for, but whatever. He still brought it back to his hometown, made Hey, yo, sorry about that. It clicked out. The William Zepeda fight was going to happen no matter what. Because that is your mandatory, fam. Eddie is not no good promoter, and this is how I know that Eddie Hearn was sitting up there negotiating behind Jaron Boots in his back. But a lot of people feel the same way I feel. They just can't say it because then they got to place the blame on Eddie and not Jaronennis, and then they will have to say that they believe Jaronennis. I know Jaronennis telling the truth about that because I know how Eddie moved. You want to know how I know how Eddie moved? Because when they was talking about the 5v5, Eddie Hearn said that all his fighters agreed to it when he ain't even talked to him yet. That's prime example. And dudes from my city already then gave me the inside scoop that, yeah, he was jumping the gun too much. Absolutely he was. Eddie, y'all, I understand why people like Eddie. I don't want y'all to get this misconstrued. I like Eddie as just how he is. Eddie is a great talker. He's very charismatic. He's very well-spoken. The whole 9. Say it with me, y'all. If you watch my channel, you hear me say this all the time. Eddie is very good at talking smart, but not actually being smart. Eddie has lied so many times when it came to Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. This is why I don't believe the man and what he says. Whatever Eddie say, it gotta happen for me to actually believe it. Did I believe Eddie when it came to say that Oh, yeah, we told him to not fight Gervonta Davis and all that. You want to know why? Because that's exactly what they did. You want to know why I believed him when he said Devin was the plan all the time, the whole time, to fight Regis Prograis? Because that's exactly what Devin did, and Devin never refuted it. Never. So a broken clock is right twice a day. My thing is, the way that boy trashed Jalil Hackett like that, the way he trashed Devin, the way he's not getting Shakur Stevenson good fights, and he's on a co-main. And like I said, the Kid Austin fight only happened. Shout out to Kid Austin and his encounter fit. I don't want to give him too many shout outs. But it's because they went against Oscar. If it was up to Oscar, they wouldn't be fighting, which it was up to Oscar. But now Oscar and them are kind of on the outs because they even took the Shakur Stevenson fight. Eddie is a trash promoter. Eddie is a car salesman, man. And if you can't see this, I don't know what to tell you. Eddie, out of all the promoters, has made the most promises without actually going through with it. You tell Eddie he done sent everybody massive offers. I have sent massive offers to everybody in boxing. But then the fights don't get made. I have to blame Eddie. That is his job to make sure that the fights get made. I'm going to say that to all the Earthmen in the back. That is his job. So I don't get Bill co-signing a man that was trashing his son just because he was trashing Jalil Hackett. That just shows you Eddie character. Shakur Stevenson saying he is great promoter. How? What has he done for you? Jaronennis, I got one of the best teams. Really, Boots? Because he got you out here looking crazy. You said the man was negotiating behind your back. How could he be one of the best teammates doing that? Man, listen here. Y'all can listen, man. I'm not the biggest fan of Eddie. Do I like Eddie charisma and his personality and all of that stuff? Yes. I see why people like him. He has a great mouthpiece like myself. He's very charismatic like myself. But the difference is Eddie is good at, he's sleight of hand. Eddie is that guy outside of New York subways that's doing the card tricks or the ball under the cup tricks. He's so believable. But only a fool will believe him. Y'all already know what this is, though, right? Ding, by any means. And I holla at y'all.